Knicks Nation, this one hurt. Getting swept by the Pistons is bad enough, but getting swept at MSG post-All-Star break with a mostly healthy roster is something else entirely. Detroit came into our building and looked like the more physical, more connected, and more urgent team, and frankly the better team. Cade Cunningham dropped 42 and 13 and never looked uncomfortable. And it wasn't even just about Cade cooking. Great players are going to have nights like that, especially at Madison Square Garden where they're more inspired to play good ball. But what bothered me most was how we responded. We looked flat early, reactive instead of aggressive, and once Detroit punched first, we never really punched back with force. This was not one of those games where you say shots just didn't fall. Yes, we went 8 for 35 from 3. Yes, the offense stalled, but the deeper issue was identity. We are supposed to be a physical, defensive-minded team that can play multiple styles. Instead, Detroit dictated the tempo, controlled stretches of the game, and even beat us in effort areas. And guess what? It's not even a talent gap, it's a mindset and execution gap. I do think that coaching deserves real discussion here. The smaller lineups against a team that already showed that it can bully you felt miscalculated on Mike Brown's end. When you shrink the floor against a team that wants to attack the paint and crash the glass, you're giving them what they want. And then you add in limited minutes for your length and versatility pieces, and it sends a mixed message about what your identity actually is. If we're going to talk about being switchable and physical, the rotation has to reflect that. You cannot preach toughness and then lean small when the game gets gritty. Now, Karl Anthony Towns is another key layer here. The stat line will look fine, 20 plus points, double-digit rebounds, but if you did watch the game, the impact is not just the numbers. Against a team like Detroit, you have to set a physical tone early, not late in the game, but early. When they feel finesse, they lean into contact. When they sense even a little bit of hesitation, they attack it. Cat is too talented to be passive in stretches like that. We don't need him to be flashy in those games, we need him to be forceful. Screens that create separation, hard rolls, physical rebounding, post touches that collapse the defense. That presence changes how Detroit will play defense. Now, Brunson scored 30 plus points, and he's still the heartbeat of this team. But leadership is not just about getting buckets, it's about having control. When the offense starts leaning into ISO too early, like it did last night, especially when shots aren't falling, the ball sticks and the defense loads up. Detroit was comfortable sitting in those matchups. In games where the 3-ball isn't dropping, you manufacture rhythm through movement and playmaking. Now, Brunson does not need to score less points, but instead he needs to orchestrate more early and close strong late. That balance is what makes this offense dangerous, and then we have to mention that stretch that shifted the entire feel of the game. The few minutes where Mike Brown rolled out Brunson, Alvarado, Shamit, and Hart together with Mitch. 4 shorter perimeter players and 1 big against a team that wants to attack downhill and punish you physically. That was absolutely not the time to experiment with different lineup combinations, not against that team. Not when they've already beaten you twice by 30 plus points consecutively. You don't shrink against a team that's comfortable playing bully ball. That stretch opened driving lanes, created mismatches, and completely surrendered the defensive leverage at the point of attack for Detroit. Let's keep it fully transparent. It was a boneheaded move by the coaching staff. There is no way around it. Now, I will give Brown the benefit of the doubt this time because it was Sochan's first game as a Knick. He just got here earlier this week. He's still learning the terminology, the rotations, and the coverages. That part is real, but what cannot happen is limiting both Sochan and Diawara the way he did. They both need to be playing at least 12 to 15 minutes and meaningful minutes per night. And I emphasize meaningful. Most of Sochan's minutes came when the game was already slipping away. That's backwards. When he was actually out there in competitive stretches, he made Cade work for his points. And there was even a possession where Cade hit a tough step back 3 over him, which you guys probably all saw. But by that point, Cade was already around 40 points anyways. That's the problem. You don't wait until a scorer is fully in rhythm to put your best disruptive defender on him. Now, OG and Mikal, our starting wings, could not contain Cade at all. Sochan, in limited time, did a very solid job making him uncomfortable. If you want to prevent a 40-piece, you apply that pressure early and consistently, not reactively. Now, zooming out, this loss matters because of what it exposed. Detroit didn't just win, they showed that they can make this matchup uncomfortable. And playoff basketball, as we all know, is uncomfortable by design. So if we run into them in a series and the physical tone looks like this, that's not something you fix mid-series. And that's something that you do not wait until the playoffs to address, because by that time it will be too late. You have to address it right now. The good news is this is correctable. The roster is good enough and talented. The depth is real, but clarity has to replace experimentation. Roles have to solidify and lineups have to reflect identity. The Knicks are still near the top of the East. This is not panic mode, but it's accountability mode. The response over the next few games will tell us a lot more than this loss did. Do we tighten rotations? Do we lean bigger? And do we re-establish defensive pressure early? Or do we chalk it up as a random night and move on? Because this season is not about regular season optics anymore. It's about positioning for May and June. And if Detroit showed us anything, it's that talent alone does not win physical matchups, identity does. So Knicks Nation, I want to hear from you guys. Was that small ball stretch the turning point? Should Sochan and Diawara already be locked into real rotation minutes, or are we overreacting to just one matchup? But as always, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button and sub to the channel for more Knicks news and updates you will not want to miss. It's been KNYT here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.